Okay, so now we're going to look at giving really less information. So we started out giving a slope and an intercept, then we're giving a slope and a point, and now we're just given 2 points. So a couple things are different. First off, it says find the general form. Okay, so it's a new form. We had slope intercept, y equals mx plus b. We had point slope, which was y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now we have the general form. You guys have seen this, you haven't really used it. It's a little different. So our general form of an equation is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are integers. Alright, so this is something a little bit different. But we still ask us to write an equation. We're really going to go through this the exact same way we did before. We're going to find the slope, we're going to find the y-intercept, and then we're going to write this equation. So for this problem here, first thing we're going to do is we don't know a slope. We're going to find a slope. So in this equation, we are going to find our m, which, if you recall, is equal to the change in y over change in x. Now we've talked about this before, which is equal to y2 minus y1, so 2 over x2 minus x1. So there's a lot going on in this problem. So first off, let's get our points here. So we have our points. We're given these as -1, -4, and the point 4, -2. So from those two given points, we're going to plug those into our slope formula and find our slope. So that's going to be our first step. So if we come back over here and we plug this in to find our slope, we are going to get m is equal to y2 will be -2 minus y1, which is -4, all divided by x2, which is 4, minus -1. Remember, these are always x, y, x, y, and I use this as my x1, excuse me, x2, y2, this was x1, y1. So we just perform our operations here. We have -2 plus 4 all over 4 plus 1, which then gives us -2 plus 4 is 2 all over 5. So there's our slope. So our slope, m is equal to 2/5. Alright, now just like before, once we find our slope, I still need to find my y-intercept. So we're really going to do this the same way. So I can pick either point to use. I'm going to pick this point right here for -2, just because it has less negative signs. So I'm going to rewrite, I'm going to plug it into, so I'm actually going to use y equals mx plus b, and we've done this before, so it's no different before. We have a slope here and a given point. We're going to use that to find our b. So I'm going to rewrite this as y equals 2/5 x plus b, and my next step, I'm going to plug in my values. So for my y is -2, so it's going to be -2 equals, my slope is 2/5, and my x value is 4 plus b. Remember, I got those from right up there. That's where I got those x and y values from. And next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to simplify this and find my b. have to move this down a little bit, because these are a little bit longer. So now when I do this here, I'm going to get -2, and I'll have to multiply. So I'm going to get -2 is equal to 2/5 times 4 over 1 plus b. So here I get -2 is equal to 8/5 plus b. So I still have to solve for b. So what I'm going to do for this problem is I'm going to subtract 8/5 from each side. So minus 8/5 minus 8/5. So I'm going to rewrite this way over here. We have -2 minus 8/5 equals my b value. Okay? So now I'm going to have to get a common denominator for this. Apparently I should give myself a lot more room. My common denominator is going to be 5. So this is going to become just -10/5 minus 8/5 will equal my b. Because remember, -10 is really just -10 over 5 is -2. So I have two subtractions. -10 minus 8 is actually -18. So I get -18 over 5 equals b. Not the nicest problem with a lot of fractions. So my last thing I'm going to do, not last, but next step I'm going to do, I'm just going to make this so we don't get this confused over here. I'm going to rewrite my equation with the information I have. So it's y equals, I'm going to scroll back up to make sure we have the correct slope. Our slope from before we found was right up here at 2/5. So y equals 2/5 x plus -18/5. Now I'm going to rewrite this as, just get rid of that double negative sign, y equals 2/5 x minus 18/5. Okay, now it asks for the general equation again. And if you recall from before, my general equation is ax plus by equals c. This is my point slope form, my slope intercept form. That's great. Slope intercept form, we're done. But it asks us to get in this form. So what we need to do first off, we said a and b and c all had to be integers. Well, we all have a common denominator of 5 here. So I'm going to multiply this whole equation by 5. So it's 5 times y equals 2/5 x minus 18 over 5. And when I distribute this in here, 5 times all of these, if you notice, the 5 is going to cancel out all my denominators. So I'm going to end up with 5y equals, my 5 will cancel out there and I get 2x. My 5 will cancel out here and I'll get -18. Well, I just got rid of all my fractions. My next step on this one is going to be to get the x's and y's on the same side. So on my next step, I am just going to get my x's and y's together. So I'm going to subtract 2x, subtract 2x, these go away. I get -2x plus 5y equals -18. And then I'm done. This is in standard form. So this is my answer. And these are definitely a little bit longer. This is my answer in standard form. We're going to leave you just with one example of that. If you have more questions, we'll do that. That one took a little bit longer than I wanted to. So that'll be it for those examples. So do a couple problems and practice that.